There's a lot of magic in this movie. I'm SirDinosaur from Planet X, and now it's time for a movie review. So there's a big family who lives in a big house, and it's called La Casita because it's special. The house is like alive and it can do stuff on its own. The house is a part of the family Madrigal. So naturally, the opening song is called The Family Madrigal, and the house is making it snazzy as the main character girl Mirabel introduces us to her family. Her abuela is the boss lady who's the head of the family. The grandkids are like, what's going on with everybody? There's so many of us, I can't remember them all, which is honestly relatable if you have a big family like me. So Mirabel tells us about Pepa, her aunt whose mood affects the weather. Then she starts talking about her Tio Bruno, and suddenly everyone is like, we don't talk about Bruno. And I'm over here like, okay, hold up. What's up with this Bruno guy? Why is everyone like marching in lockstep saying they won't talk about him? Did he do something wrong? Is he the bad guy of the movie? What is Bruno's deal? I want to know! Mirabel just says he saw the future and disappeared, which is very mysterious. Mirabel's mother Julieta can heal people with food, and now it's time to talk about the older grandkids. So Mirabel's cousin Dolores can hear everything, and Camilo shapeshifts. Mirabel's sister Luisa is super strong, and her other sister Isabella is like the perfect daughter who's all graceful and can grow flowers and stuff. So everybody has got magic powers. But the young grandkids are like, hey, what about Mirabel? So Mirabel starts singing like super fast mode because she doesn't want to talk about it. Then Dolores is like, oh, Mirabel didn't get one. So Mirabel didn't get a magic power gift. Interesting. Apparently, people are looking for Mirabel's little cousin Antonio because today is supposed to be his big coming-of-age ceremony for being welcomed into the family. Antonio is scared that he won't get a magic gift and he'll be stuck in the nursery forever with Mirabel instead of getting his own room. Ouch. Mirabel gives him a pep talk, then Casita is like, yo, TikTok, let's get on with the movie. So they go to Antonio's party. Turns out Antonio does get his own room, and his gift is the ability to talk to animals. So they go into his room, and turns out his room is like this awesome magic jungle, which is pretty cool. They all take a group photo, but Mirabel's not in it. Mirabel is happy for her cousin, but you can tell there's a part of her that's like, dang, that could have been me. Mirabel is sad, so she sings a song called Waiting on a Miracle about how she wishes that she got a gift like everyone else in her family so she'd be just like them and wouldn't feel left out. At the end of the song, Mirabel sees a roof tile fall off Casita. She realizes there's a crack in the foundation of Casita that is endangering the house and the candle at the heart of it, which represents the miracle that makes it alive. Not good. So Mirabel goes into Antonio's party and sounds the alarm, making a scene. But when they go outside of Antonio's room, there's nothing there. So Abuela is mad because it looks like Mirabel cried wolf and scared everybody for no reason, and she thinks Mirabel was just trying to get attention because she's jealous that Antonio got a gift and she didn't. Abuela makes a big show of saying, nope, everything's all good, nothing to see here. Mirabel looks bad, and it's embarrassing. She has a talk with her mom, and her mom says, hey, you're special just the way you are. And Mirabel is skeptical, so her mom says, hey dude, Uncle Bruno lost his way, and I don't want that to happen to you, so please get it together. Mirabel is outside later and hears her abuela privately talking to the portrait of her late husband, Mirabel's grandfather, being worried that something could happen to the miracle, the candle, and they'd lose their home. So Mirabel decides to investigate why Casita is in danger. At lunch the next day, Abuela talks about how this neighborhood guy named Mariano might be proposing to Isabella soon, so they're gonna have dinner with the two families, and that needs to go well. Mirabel finds Luisa, who's doing a lot of work since she's super strong and everyone's asking her for help. Luisa sings a song called Surface Pressure about how she feels that people ask a lot of her all the time and it's hard on her. The implied message, of course, is that having a gift does not solve all your problems, but I think it goes over Mirabel's head. Luisa says, hey Mirabel, go to Bruno's tower and you'll probably find what you're looking for. So Mirabel goes to Bruno's tower and Casita is like, sorry, I can't help you in here, but Mirabel goes in anyway. She walks up like a billion stairs, swings across the chasm of death, and finds all these green shards of glass in the sand. Mirabel starts to put them together, and she sees the part of it has a picture of her. But then the cave starts falling apart, so time to go. Mirabel gets out of Bruno's room just in time to see Luisa coming to Abuela in a panic, saying she's losing her gift after confiding to Mirabel about her insecurities. So Abuela tells Mirabel to stop causing problems and stay away from Luisa so her problem with her gift doesn't get any worse. Mirabel finds Pepa and asks her about Bruno's vision of doom since she's only seen part of it in these green glass shards, and Pepa is like, we don't talk about Bruno, and I'm like, arg, you guys gotta tell me what the heck the big deal is about this Bruno guy, this is driving me crazy. So thankfully, Mirabel presses the issue, even though Peppa tries to avoid it and focus on getting ready for dinner with Mariano's family. So Mirabel's Tio Felix comes in and says, hey, she needs to know, and they start singing a song about it. This song called We Don't Talk About Bruno was the hit of the year for a reason. It's great, super fun, catchy, tells you a lot of important story stuff, and it's even a little spooky in some places and honestly pretty epic at the end. What we learn is that Bruno's gift is to have visions of the future, and he would give others a heads up about what he saw, and sometimes people wouldn't like what he had to say. People started to think that Bruno's gift was to bring them bad news. So he left, and that's a sad thing for the family. As everybody tells Mirabel about this, they get worked up and stressed out as they're all making preparations for Mariano's family to come over for this very important dinner. Uh-oh. Also, Mirabel puts the glass shards of Bruno's vision together, and she sees a picture of her in front of Casita with cracks all over it. Uh-oh! Mirabel's like, whoops, I should not have talked about Bruno. I politely disagree, because it led to my favorite song of the movie, honestly. Mirabel's dad comes into the room as she's looking at this ominous vision, so she tells him how all this bad stuff is happening and the Casita is in danger and she feels like it's her fault. Her dad goes into damage control mode and he's like, okay, we're just going to sweep this under the rug. Tonight has to be perfect. We're not going to tell anybody about this and no one has to know. So, of course, Dolores overhears it with her super hearing. Oh boy. Mirabel's like, yeah, she's going to tell everyone. So Dolores immediately tells Camelio at dinner, and they're all like whispering the bad news to each other like right away. And Peppa gets stressed, and now there's a rain cloud over the table, and Mirabel looks down, and there's a crack in the floor, and dinner is going poorly. Super awkward. They ask Luisa to get the piano, but she can't right now, and the animals put the shards of Bruno's vision together and show it to Abuela, and Dolores blurts out the secret that Mirabel has been investigating Bruno, and the vision says they're all doomed, and the dinner becomes a complete disaster. Mariano leaves without proposing, and Abuela angrily says that everything is fine, but it's not very convincing this time. Mirabel goes into a place between the walls to hide and finds somebody in there. She chases him and almost falls into a pit of death, but then they find that it's not a pit of death, and the guy she found is Tio Bruno. He's been secretly patching the cracks in the house for years, alone with the rats. He's had no one to talk to, and has just been sneaking food from the kitchen for a while, so Bruno is kind of weird and awkward at the moment. Bruno tells Mirabel that his vision is uncertain. He thinks maybe Mirabel saves the house, maybe she destroys it. The fate is undecided. Apparently, Abuela really didn't like seeing that vision, didn't want to talk about it, so that led to a big fight and Bruno left and stopped using his gift. There's a sudden appearance by Antonio who's like, yeah, the rats told me everything. They all decide to take action. So Mirabel and Bruno go outside and find a spot for Bruno to have a vision. It's a complicated one, but looks like Mirabel has to give Isabella a hug in order to make sure the candle burns brighter and doesn't go out. But Mirabel is like, no way, not gonna happen, because she and Isabella don't get along. See, Mirabel sees Isabella as like the perfect child who is always pretty and sweet and never has a bad hair day and literally grows pretty flowers with her gift, while Mirabel is a normal person with no gift who keeps getting scolded for causing problems. After some poking from Bruno, Mirabel goes to Isabella's room and tries to make up with Isabella, but it doesn't go super great. Isabella is mad at Mirabel for ruining the dinner with Mariano. Mirabel dismisses this and says Isabella is being selfish, but Isabella is like, hey dude, being perfect all the time is a lot of pressure and not something I want. And oh, by the way, I don't actually want to marry that Mariano guy. I was just going to do it for the family. And then a cactus grows. Interesting. It doesn't exactly match the decor of the room. Isabella sings a song called What Else Can I Do? She's realizing that maybe the true Isabella is not super pretty in a traditional way. Maybe it's less flowers and more cacti, something more out there and artsy. It's a huge breakthrough for her, and Isabella and Mirabel hug and they're all good. However, Abuela doesn't get it. She just sees that everything looks different and wacky, and she assumes it's just more of what she sees as Mirabel messing everything up. Abuela outright accuses Mirabel of hurting the family, and Mirabel says she's thinking she'll never be good enough for Abuela, and neither will anyone else, because Abuela has a specific idea of what the family should be and is not adjusting to the reality that her family is a little different than what she had in mind. Mirabel says the miracle is dying because of Abuela, which causes the casita to break down. Everybody tries to save the miracle, but ultimately the house disintegrates. No one is hurt physically, but the candle goes out and the house is dead. Oh man. Mirabel is horrified at what happened, so she runs away and finds a spot by the river. Abuela finds Mirabel, and she tells her the river is where they were given the miracle many years ago. Abuela tells Mirabel about how she used to live in a city, and that's where she met Mirabel's grandfather. They had triplets who are Mirabel's mom, Tia Peppa, and Tio Bruno. But something bad happened and it wasn't safe to live in the city anymore, so they had to run away. Mirabel's grandfather gave Abuela a candle while she held the triplets, and he tried to hold off the bad guys, but they killed him. His sacrifice gave the candle a magic power which blasted the bad guys away and created Casita to be a new home to help and protect the family. Abuela tells Mirabel something really important. She realizes that she got scared that she would lose her family if it wasn't a certain way, and that put too much pressure on everybody and it broke them apart. Mirabel understands Abuela now, and she says as long as they're all together, there's nothing that can't be fixed. Abuela also reconciles with Bruno soon after. Mirabel, Abuela, and Bruno return to the ruins of Casita. They bring the family back together and start to rebuild. Mirabel leads them all in a song called All of You about how they're rebuilding the family together. They're even good to talk about Bruno now, and they all welcome Bruno back into the family. Their neighbors in the town help out too, and we see that when you think about it, Mirabel's talent is being a leader. Mariano is a little bummed out that things didn't work out with Isabella, so Mirabel is like, hey, meet my cousin Dolores, who secretly had a crush on him the whole time. So Mariano's like, whoa, Dolores, I see you. Let's get married. And Dolores is like, slow down, which sounds like a good plan. Once the house is ready to be lived in, the family gives Mirabel the doorknob for the front door, and it has a big M on it. M for Madrigal. She looks in it and sees her whole family in the reflection as they are all a part of her. Mirabel puts the doorknob on, and the new casita comes to life with a picture of the whole family on the front door. They all go inside, and La Familia Madrigal takes a group photo with Mirabel in the center with Abuela, and La Casita pushing them all together with the sidewalk, so it's a chaotic, crazy, and fun group, as it should be. This movie is Kino. It does everything right. The art style is great, the songs are great, the acting is great, and the story is a thoughtful narrative told with depth and feeling about how families need to talk about their problems and make sure there is a place for all the family members as their true selves. The best Disney animated movie since the 90s, honestly. 10 out of 10, and good for kids!